Good afternoon to you all. It gives us great pleasure to welcome you to our workshop today. My name is Dr. Ian Kaminsky from the Melbourne NLP Hypnosis Centre, and I'm joined here today by Tony Neal and Sharada Rumi from Wellbeing Health Retreats. Our goal with this workshop is to give you lots of great tips, ideas and resources to help you better deal with the new environment and thrive in it moving forward. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items before we start. We're going to be presenting for approximately half an hour each, followed by a Q&A session. We're actually recording this session, so we'll send you a copy as a special bonus. We're going to suggest that you remove all distractions, pets, social media, mobile phones, etc., 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 so that you can focus on the content that's actually being delivered. We suggest you also take plenty of notes to help you remember what we cover off today. I want to give you some really cool bonuses at the very end of the workshop, which we're sure you'll find very, very useful. And if you have any questions, we suggest you just make a note of them, just jot them down somewhere, then wait until we ask for questions, either during our talks or maybe at the very, very end when we do the Q&A session. So without any further ado, do we have any quick questions now before we start? Just maybe wave your hand or anything. No? Otherwise, without any further ado, let me introduce Tony Neal from Wellbeing Health Retreats to start us off today and talk about our agenda. Over to you, Tony.
Well, okay. We've got our agendas in 4 bits. As we said, we're talking about stress and mindset tools. So that'll be my speech, and then Sharada's going to talk about heart coherence and EFT, and then Dr. Ian will be talking about hypnosis. So let's just plow on. Let's get on regardless. Here we go. So what is stress really? So that's what I'm talking about. And how does it affect you, and some simple tools. So what is stress really? Does anybody like to put up their hand and give me a definition? Nobody?
No takers, Tony.
No takers?
Not at the moment.
We've got a lot of shy people there. That's okay. Well, one definition is a state of mental, emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or demanding circumstances. Does anyone disagree with that? No. So let's go with that one. So let's just go on to the next step. What is stress really doing to you? According to Professor Walter Cannon, he developed the fight or flight state hypothesis. And so what that really is doing to you is that blood is moving to your muscles or skeleton, because in that fight or flight state, you could imagine if a lion or a tiger jumped at you, you have to do something. So that's why your body, which is so magical, can actually do that for you. It gives you that the blood supply to your muscles, skeleton. So you can either run or you go into your corner and start trying to fight. So that's why that happens. But what does it actually do to the body? Because the actual blood is moving to your muscles and skeletal system, it's actually going away from your organs. And your organs are a part of your immune system. So you can imagine if the blood's going away from your liver or your kidneys, what is it actually doing to you? You're not functioning properly. And so another eminent doctor, Dr. Bruce Lipton, he actually wrote a book called The New Biology. He said that for long periods, it causes diseases. And so you think about it. In the African jungle, just imagine this. There's a gazelle there. A lion creeps up on the gazelle. The gazelle flies away, and it runs away so really quickly, and it actually runs away from the actual lion. And then what actually happens to that gazelle? It'll go back to its natural state. It'll start grazing, and it'll get back, and it'll be nice and peaceful. But us humans, what happens to us? We're in a situation, and all the time, everything's hurry, flurry, whatever. So as you can see there, there'll be long periods where we're stressed out. I'll keep moving on. So here's some stats for you. And these are stats of which we've researched. The first stat there is, did you know that 90% of the doctor's visits are directly due to stress? 90%. That's huge, isn't it? Over 1 million Australians are depressed. And why are people depressed? Because they get stressed off first. Also, 67% of Australians are overweight. A stressful response. When people get stressed, they go over to the fridge, have something to eat. These stats come from various sources. If you can see down the bottom, Beyond Blue, Australian Bureau of Stats, Web Medical. All these things that we show you have all been statistically proved. So if you ever want to come back to us and ask us for the source, we're happy to provide. So let's just have a bit of a think. I want you to write down 2 or 3 in the chat box, 2 or 3 things that are stressing you out right now. So I'm going to give you 10 to 20 seconds. So everyone start writing down, or put in the chat box there, what's stressing you out right now. How are we going with the chat box? Are you able to see anything?
Oh, sorry, actually, I might just go to, sorry, I'm just looking at everyone. Let's have a look. Decision regarding work direction.
Yes.
One.
Right. Any other ones?
Don't be shy, guys.
This is your chance. This is your chance of a lifetime. Okay.
Being in isolation.
Oh, that's a big one, isn't it?
Relationships.
Relationships. Wow.
My teens' choices. Okay.
Okay, let me go on to the next slide there. I think we're sort of getting the idea of what type of stressors that we got. And so this is something I just put together. We got the COVID-19. You see over there, the actual virus. We got money issues. It could be with the COVID-19, oh, I've lost my job. Or it could be, as down the bottom there, you're having trouble at work. You're overwhelmed. And over on the other side, being stressed out by other means because of what's happening with the family or other pressures. And of course, our life now, as you might have found, it's all hurry, hurry, froth and bubble. And then it might be, you got issues with your kids fighting, and your housework is mounting up. They'll see all those dishes there and say, oh, what am I going to do next? Overwhelmed. So it's really important to actually pinpoint the stressors that are stressing you in the life. Now, this slide is one of the most important slides of the whole presentation. So I want you to actually take a lot of note to this one. So there is a relationship between stress and feelings. See, Clint there, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's all about noticing and allowing. And you see that little caption down the bottom, your choice. So what's the relationship? Have a think about that. Are you allowing your feelings, your thoughts and emotions to run your life? Or are you doing something about it that's positive? It's your choice. I want you to write this one down. Write this one down. My thoughts, feelings, and emotions are governing my life or not. I am choosing to entertain or dismiss any thought, feeling, or emotion. And I want you to underline choosing. Then I want you to write another line. I have the power and ability to insert any thought, feeling, or emotion. So just looking at those two, the two important ones there is, am I entertaining or am I inserting? If I'm entertaining bad or ugly, what am I doing to myself? I'm causing stress. Am I not? If I'm entertaining a positive thought, am I getting stressed? No. So the magic word is your choice. You choose whether you entertain or dismiss a stressful or negative thought, feeling or emotion, correct? And the mastery bit is you can also choose to insert a positive thought, emotion, and a feeling. You've got the power and ability. You've always had that. So look at those two pictures. Which one would you choose? Would you choose the picture on your right? Your right. I know which one I'd choose. So let's keep going. So what can we do about it? We talk about choice, but I'm going to give you a tool. So I want you to write this tool down too, because it's really important. It's called, and before I do that, I'll tell you what the benefits of this tool. It's simple and it's quick. That's what you want, isn't it? And you can do it anywhere and anytime. And it's effective, it works. And what it's actually doing is training your processes to respond rather than react. Now, I want you to write that one. Train you to respond rather than react. And underline that one, because that one there, if you take nothing else away from this webinar, that is going to be really key to you. Respond rather than react. Okay, so let's get to the tool. Getting excited? Let's go. Positive. The stop method. It's a very simple one. So you notice, and that's one of the keys too, is to notice that you've got a negative feeling, thought, or emotion happening. And then you stop and pause. Take a deep breath. Let it down. Why do that? It relaxes you. And when you relax, you can think clearly. Observe what's happening. Is your heart tight? Have you got a pain in your back or in your knee, in your neck? Open yourself up to messages. And then the most important one is proceed with discernment. Instead of looking at the problem, focus on the solution. Does that make sense? So I'll run through that again. So you see a stressful situation, stop and pause, take a deep breath to gather yourself, observe, open your body up for messages, then proceed with discernment. Have a plan, focus on the solution, not the problem. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. All right. So I'd like to introduce my darling wife, Sharida, who's now going to take you through emotional freedom technique. So come on board. So just bear with me for a second. I'll just adjust the screen. So how's that?
That's great. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this segment of the webinar. Emotional freedom technique is a very simple technique that's actually been around for a while, but previously it has been looked at as being a woo-woo thing over here and over there. But now, after so much research, it has been shown that EFT is fast, it's simple, it's lasting, and it's very effective in releasing emotional issues. And every single one of us, we are an emotional being. So we are going to be experiencing emotions about everything. So this EFT, Dr. Peter Stapleton from the Bonn University, she has done the latest research using functional MRI to assess the benefits of EFT. They have done a research on eating disorder, and it actually applies across the board with even with PTSD, with the war veterans. It has been shown to be very, very effective. And anxiety and depression and a whole lot of other emotional issues in your life. So today I thought, seeing that we're in the middle of all this chaos in our lives, I'd like us to tap on one very simple feeling, the sense of overwhelm. Feeling overwhelmed with our uncertainty that's surrounding us right now. So the good thing about EFT is, even if you don't know much about it, just follow along. And as long as you're doing the follow on, you will get the benefits, whether you know something about it or not. Just follow along with what I'm doing and you will benefit from it. So let us begin by just doing what we call the setup statement. And the setup statement is when you acknowledge the issue. So we are going to do it this way. So we tap the side of the hand, just like your right hand, tapping the side of your left hand like this. So as we tap, we are going to acknowledge the issue. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to say, even though I feel overwhelmed with the uncertainty surrounding me right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel overwhelmed with the uncertainty that is surrounding me right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel overwhelmed with the uncertainty that is surrounding me right now, and I don't know how long this is going to last. That's just the way it is. And I deeply and completely accept myself. And as you continue tapping, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and just tune into your body and just see where this sense of being overwhelmed, which part of the body is holding on to that. And then I want you to give it a scale between 0 and 10. 0 means, nothing much. And 10 is super, super stressed with the feeling of overwhelming. And just remember what it is, and then we will go back to it a bit later. Okay, so now I want you to open your eyes and just continue with the next steps. So next we are going to tap. I like to do it this way. So at the side of the eyebrow, we do a summary. Overwhelmed with uncertainty. And then side of the eye, overwhelmed with uncertainty. Under the eye, overwhelmed with uncertainty. Under the nose, overwhelmed with uncertainty. On the chin, overwhelmed with uncertainty. And on the collarbone, overwhelmed with uncertainty. And then under your arm, overwhelmed with uncertainty. And then I'd like to add in this little point between the little finger and the ring finger. That little groove is called the gamut point. Overwhelmed with over the uncertainty. I don't know how long this is going to last. And then one more round. Top of the head, overwhelmed with uncertainty. Side of the eyebrow, overwhelmed with uncertainty. And then side of the eye, overwhelmed with uncertainty. Under the eye, overwhelmed with uncertainty. Under the nose, overwhelmed with uncertainty. On the chin, overwhelmed with uncertainty. Overwhelmed with uncertainty on your collarbone. And under the arm, overwhelmed with uncertainty. And the gamut point, overwhelmed with uncertainty. And then take a deep breath. And then I want you to tune into your body. Just close your eyes for a moment. just tune in and see if your body is still holding on to the sense of overwhelm, and you can put it into the chat box if it still is, and also to see the number in your scale. Has it improved? What was it before? And what is it now? So you can write down, like if it was a 7, you can put 7 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever it is. If you can put it in your chat box very quickly.
Well, mine was 7 and it's gone down to 5.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Ian, can you tell me what the numbers have come in as? Can you see anybody tapping in their numbers? No, because I can't hear Ian anymore. Okay, I think, Ian, are you still there?
We've lost Ian.
We've lost Ian.
Just put up your hands with your fingers. Where you at the moment?
So what number are you now?
Put your hand up.
Like, for example, if it's 4?
Yep, 4.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
We
3?
lost Ian.
Ian's disappeared. That's okay.
I'm
Next.
here. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Did you
Right.
see anybody?
Yeah, so we've got people have gone from 7 to 3.
Numbers were
7 to 3. In one case, we've gone from 3 to 1.
Good.
Yeah, beautiful.
Wonderful.
7 down to 6.
Yep.
Good.
8 down to 5.
Good.
Beautiful.
5 down to 4, and 4 down to 2.
Okay.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So this is a fairly short session, so we cannot expect it to be perfect. But you can actually do this when the session is finished. You can actually tap yourself down to a 0 just by repeating the issue and then tapping, and you've got the points for you to follow through. And let us do one more round just to help those that are still sitting on about a 6. We'd like it to go down to at least about a 3. So let's do that again. So side of the hand, even though there is still some overwhelm over this uncertainty in my life right now, that is just the way it is for me. And I deeply and completely accept myself for it. Even though I still have some overwhelm with uncertainty in my life right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel still a bit overwhelmed with the uncertainty in my life right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So then we do the side of the eye, overwhelmed with uncertainty. Overwhelmed, I don't know how long this is going to last. Overwhelmed, so much to do. Overwhelmed with all this uncertainty. Overwhelmed, I don't see an end in sight just yet. Overwhelmed with all this uncertainty. And under the arm, overwhelmed with this uncertainty. And between the 2 fingers, overwhelmed with uncertainty. And on the head, overwhelmed with this uncertainty. And I have the capacity to help myself to be better. So let us stop right there. Take a deep breath. And just tune in and see if that has helped you to shift a little bit more.
5 to 2.
Great. Ian, what about you?
I was looking at the actual scores here. I've got 3 to 1.
Good.
Which is awesome. 5 down to 3, which is fantastic.
Great. Okay, so
6 down to 3 as well.
That's good. So that's good. That's acceptable. So, okay, so this is available to you to do yourself when we finish with this webinar. So you've got this tool, you can do it anywhere and you can do it at any time. So we're going to finish this section by doing the heart focused breathing meditation. This is a very simple meditation that and it's got a lot of benefits. It takes the charge from your reaction, it reduces stress and negative feelings, and it's shifting you to become alert and calm, and it helps you to have a clear thinking brain. because stress and the cortisol levels actually, what we say, it actually puts your frontal lobe to sleep when you're stressed, because it just blocks your thinking brain from thinking clearly. So heart focused breathing helps us to maintain the coherence between our hearts and our mind. So let us begin. So I'd like you to, when you notice a stressful situation, then you can do your heart coherence. So you can do this with your eyes closed for now. It just trains your body to associate the breathing with the relaxation in your body. So for now, let's close our eyes and focus your attention on the area of your heart. And I want you to imagine your breath flowing deeper and slower than usual. Breathing in to the count of 5 and breathing out to the count of 5. Breathing in and breathing out. And this also helps with recharging of the energy in your cells. So when you're feeling a bit tired, this is a very good technique to relax and to recharge yourself. And now I want you to activate a positive or renewing feeling like appreciation and gratitude for someone or something in your life. And then allow this renewing feelings to anchor in your heart. And then allow these feelings of appreciation and gratitude to just flood your whole body. And as you're doing this, know that there are 1,300 chemical happenings in your body that helps you to boost your immune system. It helps you to feel more at peace within yourself. So, continue to breathe in and out to your heart center, and you can open your eyes, and you can do this as often as you like, anywhere you are at home. So the quick coherence 2-step is you focus your attention on your heart, you breathe in and out, slower and deeper, and then you activate the feelings of appreciation and gratitude to recharge and relax yourself. And so that brings us to a close to our section now. And I would just like to let you know that we, from Wellbeing Health Retreats, the things that we do a one-to-one personal well-being sessions. We do customized retreats for you and your friends and your businesses. And we also run webinars and workshops. And we also have devices that helps you to speed up your healing and to have feedback on making sure that you're managing your stress in a better way. So thank you very much. And now I will hand over to
Ian.
Ian,
I'll stop the sharing. So
Thank you, Tony.
hopefully that's all good.
I'll start sharing my screen. We've also actually had Suzanne join us as well. So welcome, Suzanne.
Hello, Suzanne.
A bit of a hiccup, but we've resolved that now, thank goodness, which is good. Okay, so let's start. Can you see my screen okay, Tony?
Yep, I can see your screen.
yes.
Wonderful, thanks guys. So look, thanks so much, Tony Sheridan, a beautiful presentation there. I'm sure you're all now more calm and relaxed than you were when you first came, so that's awesome. So what I want to do is continue on with our theme today of talking about, stress management approaches. And just summarize, in addition to what Sharada and Tony mentioned, what are some of the other common stress management approaches that actually exist? Meditation, yoga and Tai Chi are very, very powerful. Different types of medications and herbs have been found to be very good. Psychology counseling can help. Relaxing music, or maybe a beautiful movie, for example, positive, inspiring book, or even a person that you find, really inspires you and makes you feel great. And my favorite, of course, just happens to be, no surprise, hypnosis. Now, you might actually ask, well, what actually is hypnosis? What is it all about? I'm sure you've probably heard of it before. Maybe you've even seen a couple of stage shows here and there. Let's give it a bit of a formal definition, though. So, here's the formal definition. I'm going to break it up into a couple of different parts. The actual first step is we get our clients into a very deep, relaxed state. So it involves a state of relaxation, which is why it works so well when helping us, become calmer, more at peace, more relaxed, and better deal with stress. And what we find is that when people get into a relaxed state under hypnosis, they become a lot more open to suggestions, which will be helping them change an undesired pattern of behavior. For example, smoking, drinking, and so on. So we're going to actually thereby use suggestions, as we can see here, right, to help our client take on new ideas, new beliefs and values while they're more open to this in this highly relaxed state. They also can much more easily focus and concentrate on the actual outcome we're wanting to achieve while they remain in this, what we call, state of heightened awareness in this very deeply relaxed state. You see, actually, our minds, in fact, work on two levels, the conscious level and the unconscious level. At a conscious level, we do things like we analyze situations, we make decisions. Our short-term memory resides there, plus our willpower, which can be very, very strong, particularly if we're very stubborn. But if we have a distraction, for example, what do? We just normally respond in some sort of automatic fashion. And these automatic responses are more under the control of the unconscious mind, responsible for all the things that we're not normally conscious of. Things like heart rate and breathing, our bodily functions, our emotions reside there, habits, long-term memory. We also have a section called the protection mechanism that protects us from both physical and emotional harm. And we find that whenever someone's got a challenge or an issue or a problem they're wanting to resolve, like smoking, drinking, overeating, and so on, most of the time it's a result of a disagreement or incongruence between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Most of the time, consciously, people are saying, I want to stop smoking. I want to be less stressed. I want to actually reduce my drinking. But there's something at an unconscious level, which is sort of like an anchor holding them back from achieving that particular desired result. And the great thing about tools like hypnosis and NLP is they work directly with the unconscious mind, where all behavior, all change, and all learning occurs. And so by using the right tool at the right level of the mind, often change can be achieved much, much more quickly and with much less resistance and effort by using tools like hypnosis and also NLP, which is my other favorite tool that I use. Interesting question here. I want to just have a look at the chat box. Can anyone actually just put in there, maybe Tony, if you can grab a look at the chat box.
Yep, got the chat box.
Who's actually been hypnotized before? You might want to just maybe put a yes there, or, as to whether they've been hypnotized in the past. You can just yell out, Tony.
Yep, there's Sheena Kane has.
Fantastic. Anyone else?
Sue has. No, Sue says no.
No, okay. So we've got one person.
Yes said no. Navin said no.
Okay. So mainly no's. We've only got one yes so far.
No, I've got two yeses, myself and Sheena.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the interesting thing is that in fact, we actually go in and out of hypnotic trance by ourselves, actually up to 120 times a day, without actually even realizing that we're doing it. For example, things like daydreaming, things like, getting engrossed in a movie or a book, heading off to sleep at night in a bit of a daze, similar in the morning as we wake up, or even when we do really anything on autopilot. These are all examples of hypnotic trance, which we all go into multiple times a day without knowing it. So it's actually thereby a natural state that we're really quite familiar with at quite a shallow level, and we tend to go much deeper, of course, when we're using it for therapeutic reasons. So thereby really everyone can be hypnotized as they're doing it already by themselves, as long as there's two conditions actually that are met. Number one, they of course want to be, and number two, they're actually quite motivated to achieve the outcome the therapist is actually helping them with, whether it's to stop gambling, for example, better handle their anger, reduce depression, for example, and so on. So if those conditions are met, everyone can be hypnotized. In fact, there's probably only a couple of exceptions here. And the main one actually is when someone's got a mental health illness, things like schizophrenia or bipolar. You have to be very, very careful with. We can still help them, but we generally prefer to get a referral first from either their GP or psychiatrist before actually taking them on as a client. And what's interesting here is that in fact, as I hinted at this before, under hypnosis, we're using the power of suggestion. And in fact, if you think about where you are in your life right now, it's often as a result of you taking on suggestions from people in your life that you've considered to be important to you, whereby they're your parents, whether they're by your partner, your friends, your siblings, and so on. So we're already quite used to taking on suggestions from others in our everyday lives and experiences. Under hypnosis, though, we're using the same concept or idea. However, as I mentioned before, we're generally much more open to taking them on. And also because we're working at the unconscious mind, it becomes easier to change beliefs and values, often actually been held for a very, very long period of time. The other interesting thing about hypnosis too, which is really fascinating, is actually all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So really you're the one who's hypnotizing yourself, just simply under the guidance of the therapist. They're just simply there as a guide, like in fact what Sharada was doing before, guiding us through the EFT process, later on with the actual heart coherence. I'm here really guiding the person to help them hypnotize themselves. And the great thing about this is that they thereby retain full control over the whole process at all times. If they want to have a bit of a break, they can do so whenever they like. Fundamentally, though, they are driving the bus in terms of how the actual session unfolds. Now, what we're going to now do, we're actually going to do some hypnosis together. So I'd like you to experience deep relaxation using hypnosis. So I'm actually going to give you a couple of suggestions. I'm going to get you into a very, very relaxed state and then get you to imagine a couple of scenarios which have been designed to A, really relax and calm you down, but to B, also moving forward, give you some powerful stress management and relaxation techniques. And the closer you follow my instructions, my suggestions as we do this together, the more relaxed and the more benefit you'll get, in fact, from the experience. As I mentioned before, I'm just going to we'll talk you through into a very relaxed state using progressive muscle relaxation. And then while you're there in that beautifully relaxed state, get you to imagine a couple of really powerful scenarios. Okay. Now, we often get asked this question, what is it actually going to feel like? And the interesting thing is, it actually differs for different people. For some people, "Oh, Ian, I was just sitting there with my eyes closed. It didn't feel special at all." For others, "Oh, it was profoundly relaxing. I was just so deeply relaxed." And for others, "I was floating and there were lights everywhere." Everyone's a little bit different. And these responses are all equally valid. With all of them, we can get a result with hypnosis. And in fact, with some people, they actually might have different experiences with hypnosis at different times in their life, or actually also with different therapists that they actually might work with. Okay, so before we actually begin our hypnosis process, Tony, you want to just look at the chat box? Do we actually have any quick questions then before we start with the hypnosis process? What is hypnosis, or anything I maybe haven't covered off that you'd like to know before we start? Any questions?
Moment. So, a question for you, Ian. Is it possible, if I don't want to be hypnotized, not to be hypnotized?
Exactly right, Tony. If you don't want to be, no one can hypnotize you. And in fact, one thing that's interesting about stage shows that actually people don't see with a stage hypnotist is that what they don't see is the very careful filtering process that actually happens before the actual stage show, or before the actual, exercises on stage. Typically, they'll choose, maybe 10, 20, even 30 people from the audience. And of that, they only might work with 1 or 2 people. The others actually are just not open to suggestions or aren't open to following, the actual suggestions of the hypnotherapist. So they just won't work with those people, Tony. Any other questions coming through?
No, there's nothing. You've hypnotized them.
Okay. I think they're all in a trance already, which is fantastic. Okay, so what I'd like you to do then, get yourself into a nice, relaxed position, maybe in a nice, comfortable chair, maybe just sort of, lie down somewhere, or just, really get nice and comfortable. Maybe turn off your phones, distractions. You don't want to sort of have something just sort of jolt you out of this process as we go through it. You close the doors, get your pets out of the room, just get rid of all other distractions before we start. Just do that now. Awesome. So let's make a start then. So just sit back now, relax, and just close your eyes. In just a few moments, you're going to be more relaxed than you've ever known yourself to be. I'm actually going to mention certain parts of your body, and as I do, I want you just to feel that part just begin to relax. Just feel that part just begin to relax. I wonder if you can now take in a deep breath, and as you exhale, notice how you continue to relax now even more. In order to help you relax, I want you to imagine yourself in a wonderfully magical forest. It's almost night time and the sky is a beautiful indigo blue. The stars are coming out and the moon is lighting up the rich forest trees. Off in the distance, you hear the hypnotic sounds of a bubbling brook, and the crickets seem to be lulling you off to sleep. And as you lie motionless, you begin noticing a wonderfully white light just above your head. This white light is the most relaxing light you could imagine. And as it begins to lower now around the crown of your head, you seem to be touched with a desire and willingness to relax deeper and deeper with every breath you take. Continuing to lower now, it begins to touch the forehead, and as it does, I want you to feel all the little frown lines, all the little worry lines in the forehead just seem to disappear. The forehead smooths out, feels so relaxed, and you feel this relaxing light now coming around the eyes. Now the eyelids seem to become very, very heavy. So heavy they don't even seem to want to open. They may flutter a little bit, but that's okay. Just feel how heavy they are. And as the relaxation comes down around the facial muscles now, all the little muscles in the facial area just begin to relax. Relaxation comes further down around the mouth now, and all the little nerve endings in the mouth just start to relax. So much so that the lower jawbone becomes heavy and the teeth part. The mouth may even open up a little bit with relaxation as you continue deeper and deeper relaxed. Feel this relaxation now around the lower jawbone and behind the ears, so that all the little nerve endings behind the ears just relax as you continue deeper and deeper and even deeper. The relaxation goes to the back of the neck now, down around the shoulders. So much tension seems to go to our shoulders. But now you feel the shoulders just begin to relax. They may even drop a little bit. The relaxation seems to go to the backbone now. As it goes down the spinal column, it seems to go out to the sides, so that every muscle, every nerve, every fibre in the back just seem to relax. The relaxation seems to come now to the small of the back and now around the bottom. This warm sense of relaxation now comes back to the thighs now, into the hollow of the knees, around the calves, around the heels, to the bottom of the feet, and each and every toe just relaxes even more and more as you go deeper and deeper and deeper. Calm, very peaceful, very relaxed. And now, if necessary, allow yourself to shift your body however you need to, knowing that with each movement you make, you're becoming even more comfortable, even more at peace. We're now to proceed to relax the rest of you now, starting with the throat muscles. Feel them start to relax. The relaxation comes down the fronts of the shoulders, down the upper arms, over the elbows, down the forearms, to the hands, and each and every finger just relaxes more and more and more as you go deeper and deeper and deeper relaxed. Just relaxing, doing so very, very well now as you continue to relax with every breath you take. Feel the relaxation now coming back to the throat muscles, down into the chest, and all the muscles and organs within the chest now just begin to relax. This relaxation continues down into the stomach area, and all the muscles and organs within the stomach just relax. This warm sense of relaxation goes down into the thighs, over the knees, down the shin bones, across the insteps of the feet, and into the feet themselves. And each and every toe just relaxes now more and more as you go deeper and deeper. Relax deeper as you continue deeper, deeper, very calm, very tranquil, total peace. Now in your mind, picture a happy place. It can be anywhere or can be completely made up in your mind. Your happy place can have anything or anyone there with you, or it can have no one. It can be indoors or outdoors. It doesn't matter. What does matter though is that it's a place where you want to be and you feel very comfortable and very at ease there. This happy place can change whenever you want it to change, or it can stay the same. This is a place that you can go to whenever or wherever you want. It's your safe haven. Anytime you feel stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, your special place will help you relax and get you through the moment. If you become angered by something, just close your eyes for whatever time it takes. You can become completely calm, tranquil. Soon you won't have to even go to your happy place. You'll recognize your ability to relax in stressful times. And without going to your happy place, you will relax. You have the ability to remain calm in all situations. Whatever comes your way, you know you can handle. You find yourself not as anxious, and others see it too. People around you notice a change in you, but they cannot place it. You recognize the change and you are enjoying life now much, much more. This is now your new life. You have begun a new life where you can no longer become anxiety-filled in stressful situations. You are the epitome of calm and collectedness. And now I want you to see a situation in your life in the past got you very anxious and very stressed. But this time see yourself handling the situation with ease, calm, relaxed, and at peace. And that whenever you're in this calm, relaxed state, you better deal with anything that life throws at you quickly, easily, and effectively. We're now going to fully saturate and inundate every part of your mind and body with a suggestion. And I want you to help me out with this. I want you to mentally repeat this suggestion in your head with me as you hear it. You don't need to say it out loud. Just say it in your mind and repeat it. And the more forcefully you mentally repeat this, the more effective it'll actually be. And the more emotions and feeling you put into this, the better it will actually be. So now, with all the power and emotion in your body, say in your mind after me, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed and can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed, can handle whatever life throws at me. Again, every day I'm getting more calm and relaxed, handle whatever life throws at me. So now I'm going to wake you up now. I'm going to count from 5 back to 1. And I get to 1. You'll be able to open your eyes. You'll be wide awake, fully alert, feeling absolutely fantastic inside. So 5, slowly waking. 2, just becoming more aware now of your surroundings, the sounds in the room, the temperature, noises outside, and so on. 3, big deep breath in. 2, feeling some energy now starting to work its way through your body. And 1 now, open your eyes, feeling wide awake, feeling absolutely fantastic. So Tony, you got your eyes on the chat there?
Yes.
Yep. So people, would you like to maybe just share how you found that experience? Who, for example, felt it relaxing? Who was just there with their eyes closed? Anyone was floating or special effects? Just happily share those in the chat, and Tony can actually just make a note.
I almost fell asleep.
You were very relaxed.
That was it.
Fantastic.
Beautiful and relaxing, Chenru.
Thank you. Any other quick comments? But what we might get you to do now then is if there's no other comments about people's how they felt, maybe we'll go back to
Feel good.
Feel good. Awesome. Okay, we're off to a great start here. So what I'd like you to do now is just following on.
Very relaxing. They're still coming in late. Fast and furious.
Awesome. Okay. So now
relaxed is another one. Let's have delayed effect.
Okay, again, I want you to go back to Sharada's question. I want you to now rate where you are now on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how relaxed and calm you are.
1. Chenred?
Fantastic. Any more?
There might be delayed one, so we're waiting. Delayed. Another one. Sue, the 100% girl. 2.
2. So
Joan, 1. Gee, we're going well here.
Fantastic.
We got 3 1s and a 2.
Okay, awesome. So we're right down at the very, very bottom there. So we can see just the power of these techniques we've been using today to get you, from that sort of 6, 7, 8, wherever you were, down to a beautiful 1 and 2, which is a fantastic place to be. So just finishing up my little section here, we actually cover lots of issues we can help people with. We use typically a combination of both NLP and hypnosis. We haven't talked about NLP, but that's maybe for another day. We cover things like, quitting smoking, weight loss, fears and phobias, depression, for example, fears and phobias I mentioned before, gambling, anger management, drinking less, for example, or even just improving performance, whether it's to do with sports performance, it might be exam performance, or it actually might even be performance in sales, improving how people perform in sales. Well, recently what we're doing is we're actually now working also with business owners. We're doing actually a couple of group sessions now also, group workshops. Businesses actually improve their performance in their businesses by improving their mindset. Of course, success has actually been defined as being 80% mindset, 20% strategy. Focus on the mindset, you can get some absolutely dramatic results or improvements in the business. So I think what we might do now, Tony, wrapping things up on my end, let's now go to a bit of a summary of what we've covered off here today. Tony.
Thank you, Ian. That was a marvellous hypnosis session. The key, in my view, is awareness. You need to know whether or not you're stressed or not. If you don't know, it means that you're in autopilot. That can mean that you'll just get it going along merrily or unmerrily, it would be, and getting more and more stressed. So that's not good. So the key is being aware that you are stressed, and then making a choice. You have that power to make the choice. You can stay stressed or you can act. And that's the key to that, is responding rather than reacting. So if you respond in a positive way, you select a tool that's going to work for you. For instance, the stop method. That's a very simple, easy way. If that doesn't work for you, then we've got other things. We've got the heart coherence, and I'll let Sharada talk about heart coherence as a summary.
Well, the heart coherence, you can do that because every single one of us breathe. So as long as your heart is beating and you're breathing, you can use the heart coherence method to be more relaxed, to recharge yourself, and to think clearly. And of course, with the EFT, if your emotional state like frustration and anger or anxiety, whatever it is, just to take the edge off you, you can do the tapping for yourself. And please do not hesitate to get help if you find that it is way beyond your capacity to help yourself. And then, Ian, you can finish off with your hypnotherapy.
Yeah, so as Sharada was suggesting, we've given you some very powerful tools today. However, if you're finding it's still a bit of a challenge for you, not quite getting the full results that you want, then of course, it's always best to seek help. But just summarizing the hypnotherapy component, basically we all go into hypnotic states up to 120 times a day. These are very familiar natural states that we all actually experience. And if you find you're having a bit of a challenge getting rid of an undesired pattern of behavior, it's typically because deeply unconscious there's actually something holding you back. And if we can use tools like either NLP or hypnosis that work on the level of the unconscious mind, that can actually help change that particular undesired pattern of behavior much, much more quickly. And lastly, we mentioned all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. You know, you're the one who's always in control at all times. You're hypnotizing yourself simply under the guidance of the therapist. So I think it's time for some questions, I think, Tony.
Yes. So I'd like everybody to think about the questions that you've been saving up for us and start putting them in the chat box. I'm going to start off with a question to Ian.
Actually, Tony, I'm just thinking maybe we should unmute everyone. What do you think?
Yes, a good idea. Let's unmute.
I'm just going to stop
a question. Just put up your hand and away you go.
Okay, I'm just going to unmute everyone. Just give me a sec. Unmute all.
Very aligned with your genius concept.
Okay, so let's just, who wants to go first? Any questions? Something about the genius concept. Who was that from? No?
Now, don't be shy. This is your big chance.
What I was, the genius concept is like about being in the flow, being in where you need to be, where not need, what you're good at, what your natural talents are, and that can help you, I suppose, not be in areas of weakness, and those areas of weakness are what can often produce more stress than you know what comes at us ordinarily, if you like, because we choose to put ourselves sometimes in places where we have you know, additional stress if we're not actually dealing with our strengths. That's the genius sort of concept. Yeah. And if you actually are working where you're in your strengths, well, then you're developing those, but you're actually operating in your strengths, and that's where geniuses actually live, working with their strengths. Yeah.
So Sue, what's the question that you'd like to ask us?
Thanks, Suzanne.
Well, just really, I'm sure geniuses still deal with some sort of levels of stress, but they're actually almost more demanding, because I think if you deal with just your areas of strength, then when you find that you're dealing with areas that are not your strength, you often don't have tools to deal with it.
Yep, I can answer that one. There's two lots of stresses. There's one called eustress and distress. Eustress is the stress that athletes, like elite athletes, will put themselves. They want to win the goal, so they'll put themselves there. However, that's still stressful, and I'm going to ask Sharada to sort of explain to everybody about what emotions or what feelings are the good ones for your heart and which ones are not.
Okay, so basically what happens is that every single feeling that we have, it either depletes us or it renews us. So this comes back to being aware of our own inner state. So when we notice that any emotion that we have, for example, if we are feeling fear or we are feeling doubt about ourselves, that is something that actually depletes us. So when we notice that, all we need to do is to go to the heart focused breathing. It's a very simple technique, and you can actually calm the mind, and you restore balance within yourself very, very quickly. And the other thing that they've also done with their research is that with the tapping, they have found that it actually helps to reduce 43% of the cortisol levels in the body when people use the tapping. That's in one session. Compared to, they found 19% reduction in the stress chemicals in the body with psychotherapy. And then the funny thing is, when you read, this is hilarious, I thought, is when you read, your stress levels actually goes up. So you have to be very careful about the materials that you actually read. So that is what I would suggest, that, you know, if you have a concern about being in the space of, you know, I suppose all of us recognize what we are great at, and we also recognize where the pitfalls are within our own capacity to deal with life. And the tools that we've given today are simple ones that you can do immediately when you start noticing that you're not in the space where you want to be. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
I want to just add something to that too, if I could. Suzanne, you know, when do you think you're most creative, most able to handle, you know, sort of challenging scenarios? When you're stressed and anxious, or when you're relaxed and calm?
Well, obviously when you're calm.
Yeah. So even, you know, as a genius, whatever you're doing, you know, if you can stay in that relaxed and calm state, you can actually better handle challenging scenarios that you otherwise might really fluster you and cause you to get, you know, cause you to not function at the, you know, at the elite level. So I just wanted to add that if you can maintain that calm, relaxed state, that will inevitably help you improve your performance, your creativity, your imagination, and allow you to become more of a genius.
And if I could just add on to what Ian just said, it's all because when you're in that state of calmness, your frontal brain's working better. And so that's the bit that works out the logic. And and the thing is, if you're in if you're under stress, you've got your reptilian brain working, and that's fear and flight. And so that's going to, you know, churn you up. And so the blood's going away from your organs,
from your brain,
because you're in that fight-flight type of scenario. So that what Charity was talking about is the heart coherence. That is where you want to get to. You want to get into that state of just calm and appreciation and gratitude. If you can get your heart into that state, what if we predominantly do that, that's how our immune system is going to be so boosted that things like COVID-19 and that has not got a chance to attack us. Okay?
Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
That was a great question too, Sue. Loved your question, right?
Any other quick questions from anybody else? Don't be bashful, guys.
Go for it.
Joan?
I wanted to ask Ian, how permanent is the change, Ian? I know it varies maybe according to the circumstance or condition, but say for something like anxiety, how permanent do you find it?
Well, it's actually interesting, Joan, depending on the condition, you know, we will actually work with either a single session or in fact multiple sessions. And so for example, with anxiety, that's actually a 3 to 4 session program. And we can dramatically reduce, not necessarily always eliminate it, but certainly reduce it down to much, much lower levels than currently being experienced. And if people then just continue using the strategies that we give them, together with the we call support hypnosis recordings, that will allow them to maintain that moving forward in their lives.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Just maybe go back to Joan. Sorry, another thing I want to just throw in there. The reason why we also typically work with 3 or 4 sessions, because we want to sort of work over a 3 to 4 week period. And why that's so significant is we want what we're doing with our clients to become a habit. They don't even have to think about moving forward. And you've probably heard the term, Joan, a habit typically takes between 3 and 4 weeks to form. So we work with them over that 3 or 4 week period, you know, reinforcing both unconsciously and consciously with, you know, different tasks, this hypnosis recording that we give them. That's very, very powerfully reinforcing over and over again. So by the time we get to that 28th day, the 4th session, they're basically doing things ideally on autopilot. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Any other questions?
Sounds like learning music or a song, Ian. You know, just that whole practice that's just absolutely needed to the point where you're doing it, where you just don't even know, you can't explain what your fingers are going to do next, but you just do it.
That's right. And it's practice, practice, practice. That's the key to it, Sue. A great observation there. And so that's why the thing is to practice your mindfulness, staying aware. So if you can practice each and every day, just to be aware of what's going on, staying in the present. And it's very hard to do that. But the thing is, you've got to train yourself to be able to do it, and also to be noticing when your body is out of balance. That is the key. That is the key, is to notice. And then you can do something about it. Because we're all pretty good once we know. We've all done these things before. We know the things that we love doing. It might be just walking down the park. It might be painting. It might be reading a book. The things that calm us down. We're pretty good at that.
And what I was going to add to that is, again, with enough repetition, we would like those responses to become automatic.
That's right. And it
You have
becomes...
to think about it. You're stressed, you're automatically doing what you need to do. But if you then probably it's a musical thing. I know Suzanne actually is a musical genius, aren't you, Suzanne? Both have a bit of fun. But ideally, we want these to be automatic. So you get stressed without even thinking you're already doing the right things to calm you right down, whether it's the EFT, heart coherence, or whatever.
So really what you're saying is it's a skill and you can learn it.
That's right. It is. It's just a skill, just to practice.
Anyone else?
Any other questions from the floor? There must be thousands of questions. Here we are at your service.
So relaxed, I think.
Much too relaxed. You hypnotise them too much, Ian. Everyone's asleep. Come on, wake up, you guys. Any more questions? Come on.
Okay.
I'm going to ask a question to Ian, if you guys have given that up. Tell us about what you do with your hypnotherapy with people who got addictions, say like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, great question, actually. Thanks, Jody. This is actually interesting. This is actually quite opposite to what I was saying before to Joan about the anxiety. You know, with our Quit Cigarettes program, actually, that's typically only a single session required with our clients. So we do a lot of very deep work with our clients to help them quit. What we also do, though, is rather than just work on the unconscious mind, so in other words, just on the mindset, we also give them many practical strategies to handle any challenges they might experience as they're going through the quitting process. Mm-hmm. It includes things like, you know, cravings and urges they might experience, stress and anxiety that they might go through, any prolonged thoughts about smoking, or just simply just breaking that daily ritual they've been reinforcing, you know, probably for the last 20 or 30 years, you know, with their cigarettes. And we find by using a combinational approach, in other words, the mindset, yes, but also the strategies, what helps many of them become so successful, typically only after a single session.
Mm-hmm. I've got a question for Sharada. Sharada, can you remember one of our clients, I think it was Tanya, and can you just tell the audience what we did there to help her? Just to give a little bit of background, Tanya was a high-flying business consultant and she was terribly stressed out. So over to you, Sharada.
Well, sometimes what happens is that we are so used to being in a stressful state that when somebody speaks to the person, they say, oh no, I'm just fine, everything is great. But then when we start doing a little bit of work, all of a sudden the onions start to peel and the real truth comes to show. All right. And so with Tanya, we did some work with her, and all of a sudden she recognized that she's been just kind of like sweeping all the stressful situations in her life under the carpet. And that allowed her to recognize the stressors in her life and to actually deal with it. And amazing thing is, we actually just did it in one session.
Excellent.
And, you know, and then it also showed that, you know, her family was actually one of the triggers of stress in her life. And she kind of like was just ignoring it. And then when we tapped about the family situation, after the session, she actually felt so okay within herself that the family is no longer triggering her into the stress state. So it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful, EFT. It helps us to find our inner balance. And the great thing about EFT too is it actually lasts. And it's simple. Like if anything else triggers, we can very quickly tap on ourselves and bring us back to balance immediately. So that's the great thing about EFT.
I've got one more comment to add. Back to your question, Tony. Sorry, you were asking about the addiction.
Yeah.
What actually I found, which is absolutely fascinating, is that in fact stress and anxiety is often the core issue behind many addictions.
It's everyone. Yeah.
Actually, I've had a couple of clients, for example, who've come to see me for things like gambling or smoking. But when we delve deeper, the core issue actually was stress and anxiety. And the amazing thing was, guys, that
we're losing you there, Ian.
Can you hear us, guys? I can hear.
Yeah, I can.
Yep. The amazing thing was that once we addressed the stress and anxiety, guess what happened to the gambling? Just disappeared. Same with the smoking, just disappeared, because we actually found the core root problem, and by doing that, the underlying, addictions actually just disappeared all by themselves. It was just fascinating to see.
Also, what we've found is that when we do the digging with EFT, it sort of goes back. We can sort of trace back, and what's some of these big emotional traumas are what people have said, like key people like parents, what they've said to their kids. And like, for instance, with Tanya, her biggest problem was that her mum said to her, "You'll never amount to much." So she had to prove her mum wrong. So she did the extra bit. So she actually worked 110% more. And of course, we can achieve if we use our, seek help. But a lot of things, what Sherrod was saying, a lot of people do deny that there's nothing wrong with them, but there is. So why, the thing for us to look at is your general well-being. If you've got aches and pains or headaches or can't sleep, there is an underlying reason why. And it's because you're stressed or some sort of emotional. So that's the key. If you're finding you're not sleeping well or you've got aches and pains, that's where they manifest themselves. Okay.
Any last minute questions before we wrap up for today then, guys? I think they're so relaxed, Tony.
I know you hypnotised them well.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's go to our last.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
We're not finished yet. We've got a little bit of a wrap up. So there's more. Don't you go away yet. We ain't finished.
Just wrapping up.
Don't you get away. Come back.
My thing's frozen. Give me a sec. Sorry, my thing's just frozen.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Let's try it again. So that's better. So over to you, Tony.
Okay. So because you've been such a great audience, we're going to reward you. So we're going to give you some bonuses. And surprises, because we all like surprises, don't we? I know I do. So one of the things we'd also like to get is your feedback. I want you to be brutally honest. If you see things that we could do better, then Ian and myself and Sheridan, we've got pretty thick skins. So we look at it as feedback so valuable to us. So please give us some feedback. We'll send you a Survey Monkey link, and then you can just sort of give it to us. We haven't asked too many questions, but we've given you the opportunity to put your view forward. We'd love to keep in touch, so please keep in touch. If you've got some issues that you want to talk to us privately, Ian, myself or Sharada, please feel free to do that, because we're here to help. Our business is health business, is well-being, and that's what we're in for. And Ian and myself, I have to say, we've struck up a really good partnership. We want to help each other, and we'd like to see more health professionals getting together and making a big difference to the world, because that's what we need at the moment. So just to also let you know, this was our pilot, our very first webinar. So please excuse us if we did any major boo-boos, but I think we've been pretty good. Let us know. We plan to do more. Ian and I, we love these webinars, and we might have different formats, or you tell us what you'd like to see and you invite your friends. We want the awareness to get out to everybody. And please suggest your future topics that you want to talk about. There were some wonderful questions that came up with Q&A. If you've got any more that you can think of, send it through to us, and we'd love to keep in contact. If you need any help, as I just said before, then please contact us. So I think that wraps us up. Ian, anything else that we can think of?
No, I just think we've such a great audience with us today. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you got a lot of great value from today. And we'll be in touch with you very, very soon with those resources and seeking your feedback. So thank you so much.
And I'd just like to add to that, Ian, I'd like to acknowledge you all for putting your well-being in front of most things. Because if you think about it, if you haven't got your health, how effective are you in your life, at your work or with your family? So it's so important to put your health and well-being as number one. You can't help somebody unless you're 100%. True or false?
True. Also, to acknowledge all the mothers with us today, and again, happy Mother's Day as well for
This is Mum's Day. Mums are the champs.
So thank you all for joining us and for taking time out of your day and spending it with us. And we'd like to thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.